Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and today what we're going to do is I'm actually going to do one of the rarer videos that I do these days, and this is actually about the game. Lately I've really been on a more philosophical kick. That's the way I like to do things. I try to keep it as consistent as possible on that, but one of the things that I had mentioned doing in a past video was doing these long experiments to figure out what the profitability of long low-level hunts are. And as it happened, I got a volunteer, and the volunteer was named Melky, who was willing to do a lot of the work for me or with me. And so, since I've been working a lot more on at-level stuff as of late, because I haven't done a lot of at-level in the last year or so before migration, he took it upon himself to gather data for me. And so this is a huge shout out to Melky. He is one of my patrons, and I've actually added him to the credits of this video and every video subsequently. Because he did this work, I consider that sufficient patronage to be added to the credits. So I am going to go through the data that he gathered. It's very interesting. I don't think it's... And he's the first to admit this. This was the result of a single set of iterative tests. Single sets of iterative tests are not proof. They're evidence, but not proof. Ideally, we would recreate these tests across multiple types of mobs, across multiple planets, over a long period of time. But he had 5 iterations and had all of the totals play out, and so I wanted to go through the data with you and just so you can get an idea of how cost-effective Swunting can be over time. Or it might not be cost-effective. Now, keep in mind, any profit you get from Swunting could much more easily be made in a minimum wage job where you're depositing the income from that second minimum wage job into the game. But that's not the point, because you also get skills in the game to do that. So, but I needed to make sure that I reiterated that fact, because the money makers in Entropia, like the real money makers in Entropia, are land areas. I mean, yes, you can make money doing deeds and shares, but if you're talking about trying to make a living off the platform, you're going to be owning land. And to do that, you need to have a significant investment in it. So, I mean, there are a couple of alternative ways you could probably figure out how to make a living doing this. I do know that there was one mother-son team that actually paid for his college just using Entropia Universe by making weapons. But that's hard. Like, those aren't typical results. It's possible, but those are not typical results. And you've got to be willing to put in the time to be the factory. And that's what you are at that point. You are a factory, not really a player. So, okay. So let's go through the data. So, for background, he did 5 iterations. I believe it was 5 iterations. Yeah. And global 69 ped. Thanks, Cyrene. Nice. Oh, excuse me. Coffee. Okay, so started out with 100 ped in ammo, and with his sweat VSE1, you know, the sweating tool, and he went out and sweat he went out and sweat gallards, which I think are level 3, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they're on Arcadia. Someone, Melky, if you're watching this, I should say when you're watching this, or if someone else knows, I believe gallards are on Arcadia, but they could be next island. I'm probably wrong about all of this. I know for a fact they're not on... No, I don't know that for a fact. I'm almost positive they're not on Entropia. And I've never seen them on Toulon, and I know for a fact they're not on Monria. And I don't ever remember running into them on Calypso. So, if I had to make a guess, they're either on Arcadia or on Next Island, which are the 2 planets I've spent the least amount of time on. So he started off with, he says looter, so I'm going to assume it's animal looter, level 7. And sweat gatherer level 31, which is just, holy crap, dude. That's some hard-ass grind to get your sweating profession up to level 20 to 31. What's my sweating profession? It's like 10. It should be under this. Oh, is it Mind Force? It might be Mind Force. Sweat Gatherer, 13. I actually had a better Sweat Gatherer profession than I thought I did, but it's certainly not 31. Or 30, yeah, 31. So, okay. And he puts his experience percentages, which I don't necessarily think are relevant for this test. They might be, but we'll omit those. 100 ped worth of ammo, a 100% TT pistol, with the 3 platinum pack amps. So he took the amps from the Barbarella, which are the ZX Cincadus, ZX Eagle Eye, and ZX Ardod, and attached those to a TT pistol, which is actually kind of brilliant because that drives the efficiency up quite a bit. So after his first iteration, he had gone through 31 pec of the 3 ped pistol. So the pistol he's using is only 3 ped, which I think is that's consistent with like an Arcadia TT pistol. He used 23.74 ammo. It was 99 pec for repairs. So total decay and ammo spent was 24 ped 4 packs. So that's not bad. The loot he got 6,158 vibrant sweat, which is 8.4 ped at 1.4 ped per K, which I know that market fluctuates a bit. I've seen it as high as 1.5 and as low as 0.7. So keep that in mind. He rated it at 1.4. 12.48 ped shrapnel. 3.27. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add up the loot. For the sake of simplicity. But he literally broke it down to each item class. And so it's all pre-markup. So like in this one you got shrapnel, animal oil residue, Gallard hide, animal muscle oil, socket 1 components, and animal hide. And that total came to, bear with me just a second. Wait, did he put the... Oh, he put it down here. So, taking out his repairs, so his net profit for loot, he got 20 ped, 83 pec in loot after repairs, and 8.4 ped in vibrant sweat. Which, after adding that back into his ammo remaining, it's 105.49 ped, which means he's up 5.28 ped after the first iteration. He gained 2.01% to his looter level, 8.14% to sweat gatherer, and he also put down his codex stuff, which I didn't go through, so I'm not going to go through now. So in the second iteration, so this was a single test with 5 repairs. He used an additional 23.75 ammo, an extra 30 pec in TT value on the pistol, and another 99 pec for repairs, which he used part of his loot to pay for. That's cool. Which means he's probably not using armor at all, which is good. Another 8.4 ped in vibrant sweat, 13.49 ped in shrapnel, and then a bunch of loot. The TT value of all loot after repair is 21.25 ped plus another 8.4 ped in vibrant sweat, giving him a total of 29.65 ped in net profit. or in gross profit after repairs. So basically EBITDA. For those of you who are familiar with business, EBITDA. I know. I don't like EBITDA either, but it's a thing. So 52.51 ammo remaining plus 29.65 ped loot equals 82.16 ped. Minus the decay loss is 81.86 ped. Oh, but he didn't start with 100 ped this time, so it's another 560 in net profit, because the 81.86 minus 76.26, which was the starting ammo from the last check, it's another 560 in profit. On the third iteration, and it appears he kept a lot of things fairly consistent. Use another 30 pec in TT value off the pistol. Use another 2373 in ammo, so he's keeping it around that 20, just under 25 ped per check, which for pistol hunting is no big surprise, especially when you're sweating. I mean, that's a long grind when you're friggin' sweating, and it's no small amount of sweat that he's sweating out. So at this check, he's sweat a total of 18,572 bottles of Vibrant Sweat. That's a lot of time, even at level 31. 12.53 ped in shrapnel. And his loot total TT value of all loot after repairs is 18.7 ped, plus the 840 in Vibrant Sweat is 27.10 ped. Came out with 3 ped, 7 pec in profit for that iteration. And the fourth one, and this is where he was basically out of ammo. He had 5 ped left in ammo, which is a good safety margin of safety when you have to get out of a mob herd. Which for a pistol of that level, 5 ped will last you a long time, but still. Used another 23.71, same amount of repair, 99 pec. Again, he came out with 8.4 ped in loot in Vibrant Sweat, which I think he planned that. Like, he's like, okay, at this number of bottles, I'll stop and do a check. Now, Melky, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I had to guess, because that's consistent across time, if I was doing it, that's how I would plan it. So is this the last iteration? No, he finished it off. Okay. So for that iteration, he had 7.75 ped in profit. And keep in mind, he hasn't cycled yet. There's no shrap cycling by the looks. If I'm reading this right, he just straight up held the shrap like I am right now. See, I'm holding all the strap for when I'm out of the weapon cells. Yeah, because he had 5.07 ammo remaining, and ped in ammo remaining. 31.58 ped in loot. 7.75 ped in profit. So this is profitable. Not making, you're not getting rich off of it, but it's profitable. And so off the final check, I mean, obviously with only 5 ped, it's not going to last long. He used almost none of the pistol. Had 10 pec in ammo remaining. 20 pec for repairs. So, yeah, let's go to the total, because he actually breaks it all down very, very nicely. So, at the end of this 100 ped hunt, which I can only imagine, or swunt, I should say, I can only imagine this took days. Or maybe it was a whole day off. I don't know. I couldn't imagine how long this took. 26,011 Vibrant Sweat, which at the market rate of at a market rate of 1.4 ped comes to 36.41 ped. 55.97 ped in shrap, which is, of course, you just convert that out and you've got ammo again, right? 8.4 ped in oil residue, which is he took out of the oil residue to do his repairs. 13 ped, 2 peck in Gallard hide, 7.83 ped in animal muscle oil, 40 peck in socket link components, 1.49 ped in animal hide, 40 peck in Coria timber, 13 peck in hair gel, and 53 peck in Pyron BP0, which means it's a gun. Total of so total TT value of all the loot is 87.99 ped, plus 36.41 ped in vibrant sweat at market value, giving him a total of 121.4 ped, minus the 1.27 ped decay on the pistol, is a total of 17.13 ped profit. Hunted 1,700 gallards. Swunted 1,700 gallards for this test. So let's just like, holy shit, dude. That's a lot of work. That's a grind. So let's all pay our respects to Melky for this particular grind. Total initial investment of 103 ped for the 100 in ammo and 3 in pistol. So 17.13 ped. So this is good for all low spender free-to-play players. You can do it. Now, if you're low level in sweating, it's going to be a lower profit margin for a while. A level 31 sweat gatherer is nothing to sneeze at. That's a hard-ass grind. And I have spent months in the sweating fields before. And I'm only level 13. But you can get there. And you can do the low-level hunting. And it's fairly efficient. Great to get your skills up. It's great to... if you're in a sweat circle, just sweating the mobs, you'll make friends. Like, the chatter at the sweat circles is usually really good. Great conversations, particularly at Club Royal on Calypso. I'm not familiar with many other places. Like, you can go to Boreas, and there are people sweating. The conversation's okay, but it depends on how many of them are actually people and how many of them are bots. Club Royal is usually better policed. There are bots, but usually if the bots become a problem, 1 or 2 of the players will run up, grab a bunch of berry clad, and run them, or the, not berry clad. No, they've done berry clad too, but, they'll grab mobs and train mobs through, and all of the sweaters that are not bots will run in behind the turret, and they'll run through, and the mobs will just wipe out all the bots. Funniest, I'm there sweating, and he's like, you know what, these bots are irritating me. I'm like, yeah, we're like, you know, they're annoying, but there's not much you can do. He's like, I got a solution, and runs off, and we're like, oh, okay, whatever's gonna happen here. And all of a sudden in chat, and all caps, it goes, run! We're like, huh? Run! And he comes, and he's being chased by like 50 berry clad train behind him, and everyone who's present's like, fuck! And we just run into the turret area. And sure enough, they wiped out all the bots. And the rest of us went back, and we went back to sweating our mobs. So yeah. And like Melky himself said, this is one test. It's one test with 5 iterations. But it's good data to have. And it's the start of a much longer, I would think, experiment to find out how profitable you can be, especially if you're free to play. Because if you think of it this way, and this is what I would do in this situation. So 100 ped, went through it all, has 50 some odd ped left, barely used used a third of the pistol, right? So let's pretend that he depoted all of that. Okay, fair enough. You depoted it all. Go back out, hunt a little more, get another couple ped, and then you pick up a Crystal Palace share. And you just do it over and over and over again. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And over time, all of those shares will create passive income. Or you can even do Ancient Greece. That's enough for at least one Ancient Greece share, which doesn't pay out as reliably as Crystal Palace shares or, you know, Underground Deeds or whatever. But they're also a hell of a lot cheaper. Or you can do Moon Deeds, which are more reliable than Ancient Greece, but less reliable than Crystal Palace or Underground Deeds. Now, I do, full disclosure, I have Crystal Palace. I have all 4 of these. Well, I have a single Ancient Greece deed or share that I picked up using only income from the oil and beer fields on Entropia. Like, it's the entire reason I did that. I wanted to see how long it would take me to get up enough to buy 1 share. It was a long-ass time. It's like 1 ped per day. It took a long time. But you can do that and be free to play. You can totally do that and be free to play. And, of course, my sword is broken on my last... as I do my last hurrah here. Hang on just a second, guys, while I get this all set up. There we go. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I'm out of bots. Actually, let's see if I can get close enough to scan without pissing him off. I can. Robot patrol siren for any rebels. And the image is high. Okay. That's massive health. Medium damage potential. How the hell does a robot have any psyche whatsoever? Anyway. That's good data for free-to-play players, though. You know, I think that the free-to-play model for this game is worth doing if you have the time and patience. The only thing it really isn't, like, if I wasn't a content creator, I would probably be free to play for the most part. I don't mind doing low-level hunting. I rather enjoy it. Now, I do like the fact that I can push myself and, you know, hunt here and be fairly well off. You know, I'm basically breaking even. I found that sweet spot with this mob. But I find that the free-to-play, if you have the patience, is not a bad thing. And I've been out in the sweating fields for months at a time and been perfectly happy. You know, sweating mobs, and like most people who do that, I have something on in the background, which I usually do when playing EU anyway. As of late, it's been psychology lectures. But oftentimes it's been, okay, I won't say less geeky, less academic things. Like, I've watched Star Trek in the background. I've watched, you know, other shows. It can be done. I've tried reading while doing it. That's harder. It's doable, but it's harder. But yeah. So again, huge shout out to Melky for getting me this data. I believe that it proves that if you have enough patience, the free-to-play model is sustainable. But you have to have the patience for it. Because 100 ped Swunt, that's 1,700 mobs. That's a lot. That is a lot. And for all of that 100, he got 17 ped profit. That's a pretty good profit. That's 17%. That's not nothing. That's better than, honestly, it's better than most investments. So, okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I really appreciate the support, and we will see you in the next one.